You know, it's funny how much glasses can alter your appearance.
My son is twice the man you are.
Hi, welcome to A to Z Reviews. We review movies, comics, and anything in between. Today we are reviewing the highly anticipated Man of Steel. Now, Man of Steel's had a lot of problems with it so far, with a lot of critics not liking it, giving it a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a lot of fans who are actually really disappointed with this movie. But I want to talk about the stuff that I liked about this movie, the little parts that I didn't like, I'll put that at the end, along with some spoilers. But first off, I was really excited to watch this movie. I was really pumped. I like Zack Snyder as a director, and I was really happy that Nolan was producing this film. And most of all, I just wanted a really good Superman movie, and I was really excited hoping that this Justice League movie that we've been hearing rumors about would start and begin in this movie. So without spoiling anything until the end of this review, my verdict for this movie is that it was great. It was a really awesome movie. Probably not up there with Iron Man or Dark Knight, but it was a really solid action film. It was a really good summer movie, and I think the essential Superman movie that we need today. So first off, I want to start talking about the good things that I liked about the movie, and I'll leave the stuff that I didn't like towards the end along with the spoilers, things that may seem like nitpicking, but first off, I want to talk about the good stuff. Starting off with Superman himself and all the actors, but I just want to point out that I think Henry Cavill did a phenomenal job as Superman. I think he was able to deliver all of the lines great. There was this one scene where he like comes out of the water and he has this like Twilight Jacob type thing, but the dude is just jacked. He did great with the action sequences. He was able to deliver on his lines, on the character interaction with the ones who portrayed his family, with Lois Lane, with everybody else, and I think that he's just a phenomenal Superman. I think he portrays the role just great, and I really hope to see him in sequels and hopefully a Justice League movie that they use him. And I think Amy Adams as Lois Lane just did a really great job as well. She had just this beauty to her, obviously, that embodies her as Lois Lane. She was portrayed as being very, very smart, except I feel that her character was really rushed, especially with her relationship with Superman. There was also Zod, played by Michael Shannon, and I like Michael Shannon. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I just think that the character of Zod, there just wasn't too much to him that would help Michael Shannon to portray his amazing acting abilities. First off, he was the first main villain, and I feel that if he was given the opportunity to play like the second main villain for the sequel, there would have been more depth to his character. But I think he did a really good job. There's this one scene, especially at the end, where he does have this great monologue, and Michael Shannon just delivers it, and he does a great job at it. But I think that the real cool villain in this movie was Faora, and I don't know who plays her character, I don't really know the actress, but she did a really good job. She was fierce, and she was amazing in her action sequences, and she was just like head on with Superman in all of the scenes that she was in with him. But I think that the standouts to me were Superman's fathers, both of them. Sounds kind of weird, but I think that Russell Crowe did a phenomenal job playing Jor-El, and then Kevin Costner as his earthly father, just both of them did a really great job. I think Kevin Costner's character was just a little bit higher because he put the emotional parts into this movie, and I think every scene that he was in, especially when he was talking to younger Clark, were just really great. Those were the parts of the movie that really had me intrigued the most. And Russell Crowe as Jor-El had probably some of the coolest action parts, especially there's this one scene with him and Lois Lane. I don't want to spoil it, but that scene was just incredible with him. Going on to the next big thing about this movie, that it was clearly the sound. The sound in this movie is incredible, and if you see this movie in IMAX, it's just going to blow you away. The visuals and the sound, just putting them both together. The sound, especially the score by Hans Zimmer, it was just so beautiful. When the scenes are building up and you hear his score, it's just dum, 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 dum. It just builds you up, it excites you, and it builds on the action sequences, it builds on the emotion, and the sound in this movie, especially when they're fighting, when he's flying, even the dialogue scenes were all incredible. A lot of people think that it's too loud, but I love when my movies are loud, and it engages you just a lot more. The visuals in this movie, obviously with Zack Snyder directing this, were just phenomenal. There are some parts where he does this little like zoom in thing where he zooms in and he zooms out, which was a little distracting, but at the same time, it allows you to focus on what he wants you to focus on, and it engages you in the action sequences. Yes, there were a lot of little lens flares in there, which makes it seem like J.J. Abrams was helping along with this, but the action sequences just blow you away. They may have been a little too long, but it was just so engaging. We're used to seeing Iron Man, we're used to seeing, you know, Transformers and robots fighting, but to see actual human beings going at it were just incredible. There's a scene where Superman gets up, he tries to protect his mom, he punches this one character so hard, and it's just, you hear the punches, you see the action, and it's just really, really incredible. It engages you and it's just mind-blowing. Another part of this movie that I thought was strong, not the strongest, but was the plot. Obviously a lot of people are comparing this to a Batman Begins, which I really hope it is. Obviously it's his origin story, it's his first movie, and I really hope that this builds up on for other sequels, and these other sequels can come out to be maybe like The Dark Knight. But I thought that it was really good. I wish that they focused more on the younger Clark Kent, because I thought that was really cool. They focused more on his past through flashbacks, which I love flashbacks, but in the beginning of the movie you're able to see Krypton, and they have a good length of time that they spend there, and I wish that they would have done the same thing with him growing up, because those were the parts that I really liked the most about this movie, and have less focus on the action. But overall I thought that this was a great movie. It was a phenomenal movie that I feel a lot of people are nitpicking it, and they're trying to find problems with it, when in reality it's the Superman movie that I think this generation needs. I also love the fact that they were able to call him Kal-El, because I know a lot of Superman fans, people who have it like tatted, have the symbol tatted, who claim to be really big Superman fans, who don't even know his real name. Some of them know him as Clark Kent. I actually had a person who thought that his name was Bruce Wayne. But I like that they enforce, you know, that his real name is Kal-El, and people who watch this movie, especially the younger audience, people growing up who may not know Superman as well, are able to know his true origin. Now getting on to the probably what you would feel is the nitpicking parts and the problems that I had with this movie, along with the spoilers. So if you haven't seen Superman Man of Steel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Definitely go watch it in theaters. Definitely try to catch it in IMAX. You probably don't need to see it in 3D, because I feel 3D just darkens everything and it ruins the mood. The visuals just alone in 2D are phenomenal. But go watch this movie and then come back and watch the spoilers and the problems that I had with this movie after you see it. Now my biggest problem with this movie, besides the fact that yes, it dragged, it was a little slow at points, the action sequences may have lasted a little bit too long, but I was so pumped for this movie to be the leeway to the Justice League, and they didn't, and I feel that that is not only just a bad business standpoint, but it's bad for the fans, because us fans who want to see a Justice League movie now have to wait a lot more, because they haven't even started building up upon it. We don't know if this Superman's going to be the one to be in the Justice League. We don't know if they're going to have another Batman or include the Batman from the Nolan trilogy. We don't know anything, any leads on how we're going to have our Justice League movie. And with Marvel doing their thing, they got all their movies coming out with sequels, they got all their superheroes all set, and their Avengers movie, and them having Avengers 2 and I believe Avengers 3 already working on, and just building on their universe. I think DC needs to get a move on with what they need to do, and I was really hoping that this movie would have that, and that would have moved this movie and, you know, pumped it up to be just a really great movie, probably my favorite movie of the year, if they would have incorporated somebody else from the Justice League. It didn't have to be Batman. I would have loved it to be Batman, but anybody else. But besides the fact that they completely dropped the ball on being able to build their DC universe in this movie, there were other little problems, that one being my biggest, but the other ones were Lois Lane and Superman's relationship. I felt was just so rushed. They like end up having this romantic relationship, which doesn't make any sense, because they weren't able to build up on each other. And even worse than that with her character was the fact that she was just able to find him. All she did was like Google Superman type things, and she was able to find it and find out who he was that fast. And I understand that it's making her character seem like she was really smart, but the fact that she was able to find him out that fast, I felt was a problem, just like in Batman and Dark Knight Rises, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was able to tell that he was Batman just by the look on his face. And I think that that's been a huge problem with superhero movies, with not being able to keep their identities. There was also the fact that they put a lot of action in this movie, which is really good, because Superman Returns didn't have barely any action, and I like that they have a lot of action here, but I think they overdid it, and they didn't focus on the story parts, the emotional parts as much. They did have some emotion in it, especially the one scene with the tornado, and Clark Kent having to deal with making that decision if his father should die or not. It was really emotional, but when you really look at it, they could have done so much more with the scene. They just had him die, and I felt that they could have put more emotion into it, and it would have build up more on Clark Kent becoming Superman and him having that mindset of how he makes his choices, especially with what his father taught him. And I think that they focused more on the action and just hurried up that part really fast, again just using flashbacks to tell that story. But of course those were just the little minor things in this movie. I thought it was a great movie overall. I think it was a definite Superman movie for our generation, and definite one to watch in theaters, especially go see it in IMAX if you can, and to really watch out for the little minor things. There was a little LexCorp symbols on the buildings and on the truck that they push when they're fighting, and I think that's really interesting, because hopefully they have Lex Luthor come back for the sequel and they're able to build up on his character. There was also, I wasn't able to see it, but a lot of people, I've seen it on the internet talking about it, that there's a Wayne Enterprise symbol on the satellite when they're fighting up in space, and that supposedly it's the same font as the one in the Dark Knight Rises, in the Dark Knight trilogy, and that could be either two things. It could be just a nod to Nolan from Zack Snyder because he helped produce it, or hopefully it could be, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy universe being connected with the Man of Steel universe, considering that a lot of people have been complaining that it's been very dark tone. So overall, I think Man of Steel was a great movie. Not the best movie, but I think it was a really good movie that a lot of people are nitpicking it. Obviously, I had my problems with it. I wish that it would have built up a lot more with the DC Universe, but I thought it was a fantastic movie, a great summer movie, a definite one to watch in theaters. But I want to know, what did you guys think of Man of Steel? Did you like it? Did you think it lived up to the hype? What did you think about the characters, especially Henry Cavill? Do you like him as Superman? Were you able to notice some other hints in the movie, some other Easter eggs that possibly are really cool that a lot of people have missed? Let me know what you thought about the movie. Let me know what you're looking forward to this summer. And also let me know what other DC character you think should get its own movie before we sometime in the future get our Justice League movie. Let me know anything that you want to tell me about movies down below, and I'll see you guys next time.